I decided to start a photography club because I realized there was none on the campus, and it's one of my hobbies. It's something that I feel like a lot of people would be interested in, and something I wanted to bring to UMBC so I could experience it, and then so other people could too. We've been able to get interest so far, even though we're a relatively new club on campus. We've been able to run events, like we had our photo display in the Commons, and we've gone on the trip to the Baltimore Museum of Art. And I'm proud that we were able to get that started in our first year. It helps involve more UMBC students because it gives them something that they can put on a resume, especially those of them that are photo majors and visual arts majors and things like that. It's not just a thing where we meet every Friday and we go on trips. It gives some substance to the experience.
Photo has always been just one of those things that I love just doing, but it's kind of, with the advent of like social media and just kind of more like digital photography, it's a lot easier to share your work with people, so it's nice to be part of the UMBC community but also share your work. So, I'll post my photos on Facebook every once in a while, get some likes and comment or share kind of what camera I used. What motivates me to post photos in the photo club or just kind of to share them with people is that sometimes you'll take photos of UMBC and, you'll spend all your time just walking around and be like, oh, it's UMBC, it's like 5 buildings and that's it. But sometimes it's cool when you get that photo that's just like, wow, like I walk by this every day, but I never notice it. And then when you share that with people who go to the same school as you, they'll be like, cool, neat.
When I record an image in the camera, it's a way to show other people like how I saw that. If I can emphasize in a picture where I want the viewer to look immediately by composing it in a way where all the lines lead to that certain point, then I think it shares a more powerful vision, a more powerful image. If I'm shooting architecture one day, I like to do a walk around first and see what lines up at what point, so that way I can see how can I draw the viewer's eye in. What inspires me is when I go out and I see something for the first time and I'm like, wow, I know that I can't leave there without having some kind of memento or some kind of picture. My favorite picture that I've taken is in the Capitol Crescent Trail in Bethesda, because it was on one of the biking trips I went on with my grandfather. By setting the camera on the ground to give it sort of a different perspective than most people see it, because most people see it straight on, it sort of shows how significant that place is to me.
Well, photography is very kind of existential for me. Just the best way to describe it is just kind of it's like when you have a camera in your hand, it kind of gives you some like authority to be there. So I like putting my perspective on things. It's kind of evidence for people to come just in the future be like, oh, he was there. When I first started photography, I was really into street photography. I'm starting to branch out a little bit. So I'm into, I guess you'd say, lifestyle photography, and then kind of urban landscape would be the best way to put it. I'd say this is one of my favorite photos just because it's like kind of simple to the point. Sometimes when I name this photo online, it's either untitled just because I'm not creative, or to darkness because I'm being creative. My blog is, sometimes it's photos of cameras, sometimes it's just actual photos, but sometimes I post thoughts on just kind of my own photos. I've been to a few of the protests in Baltimore, so the recent ones about like Ferguson. So I'll kind of list all my photos on there. They'll be hosted on Flickr, but the actual content and blog write-up will be there. So it's just kind of nice just having a lot of different places to share your photography, but just different ways to talk about it too.
I think success in the club would be us being able to establish ourselves as an organization on campus, like people can have heard of us, things like that, and photographers that would be interested have a reason to want to be there. They're not just coming to say they can put it on their resume or something like that. We can offer them something that can be valuable to them, and I think that's what one will be truly successful, whether it's the IFL internship or whether we're shooting headshots during free hour, or which are ideas that have been brought up that can be something that they can say, look, I've done, and they can take ownership of the club. That's when we'll be successful.